How's it going, everyone? It's Avi from Marshall Flat. That was the day. It's February 24th, 2021, and today we're going to talk about the upcoming weather pattern that's going to affect the entire United States, which I think could create a future nor'easter in the future, and we'll also talk about the next potential severe weather threat that will impact the Southeast. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. So let's begin by taking a look at the European model, and you see right here, you see a pretty large area of rain extending from Louisiana throughout the southeast, squall line of rain. I'd say some of these thunderstorms may be severe depending on the amount of unstable air in this region, but obviously the worst of the precipitation is further to the north and east, where we see rain all throughout the east coast and extending to the mid-Atlantic states, and we're seeing also a little bit of snow in the higher elevations and further northward towards upstate New York. And you might be thinking that we could maybe see a big snowstorm come out of this, and you might be right. However, the thing is that we're 168 hours out with the forecast run, which is approximately 7 days. So when we're talking about a forecast 7 days out, there's still a lot that could change, and a lot is definitely subject to change over the next several days, because I say, like, forecasting something 5 days out is uncertain, but going 7 days out is even more and uncertain, to the point where it's almost like a guess by the computer models at this point, especially since the European model and GFS model have disagreements regarding whether this storm will actually ever develop or not. Because if we take a look at the European model 168 hours out, you see that there's a large area of precipitation and snow towards the northern portions of New England, and this will extend throughout a lot of New England, headed even more forward, and will eventually strengthen a little bit once it heads off the east coast. And there's a decent amount of unstable air to maintain the strength, so this could potentially be something to at least watch for the northeast, especially since we're 7 days out, and a lot could change in the forecast. If this is a little bit more towards the east, we might see more cold air filter in coast to coast and make it a much more impactful snowfall event for a lot of the northeast. However, the GFS model completely disagrees with it, because if we take a look at the forecast 168 hours from now, there is no storm at all. It isn't one of those things where the track is completely different between the European and GFS model. It's so uncertain, and so the forecast models are so are in such disagreement with each other. They're disagreeing on whether this storm will actually form or not, which really shows that there is high uncertainty regarding this forecast. And I want to make that disclaimer. So for those who might be hoping for the next blockbuster snowstorm before spring eventually comes, or those who are dreading the snow, I want to put the disclaimer that this is highly uncertain. A lot could change. This definitely has a good possibility that this storm does not happen at all. But on this channel, I want to give you guys a heads up well before the mainstream media does. I want to give you guys a heads up regarding any sort of possibility of a snowstorm, just so you guys at least stay aware of it in case it eventually does come, because I know you guys might have some longer plans longer than a week or a couple days out. So it's definitely good to at least be aware of these storms in the future, even if they do have a good chance of not even developing. So this is why I'm talking about this to you guys, this storm to you guys right now, although it's highly uncertain. I just want to make you guys aware that there could be that possibility we do see a nor'easter, or we may not see a nor'easter. And the reason why there's such the two main computer models are in such disagreement, we have to take a look at the 500 millibar MSOP and height, because it gives a good idea of where exactly how the jet stream will orient itself in the future. So if we compare the GFS model 144 hours from now, you see that from most of the United States, the jet stream is straightened out for the most part, and there's a little bit of a jet stream dip towards the northeast. However, it isn't a major jet stream dip, and plus, so the trough that's associated with this jet stream dip is far too up north to bring any major snowfall to most of the United States. Maybe a little bit of snow in the extreme higher elevations of the northeast, but that's about it. But other than that, for the most part, the jet stream in the GFS model is straightened out, and what that means, especially during the winter time and early spring, is that there's less likely of a chance that we're going to see any storm form from this, because what really intensifies storms and troughs moving through the United States is high instability, where the cold air is forcing a lot of that warmer, lighter air further upward to create rapid convection and precipitation, and also create wind along with that unstable air to further accelerate the convection within a trough. But you see that there isn't enough unstable air to really develop much of anything based off of the GFS model. But if we compare that to the European model, at the same forecast hours, 6 days out, 140 hours from now, you see that the European model is taking a much more pronounced jet stream dip, which will allow this future low pressure system to form and move up the east coast, and potentially could be our next nor'easter headed into early March, right around March 2nd to March 3rd of 2021. So this is just very uncertain, because they're completely taking two different scenarios where a storm forms while in the European, while the GFS model, a storm is non-existent thanks to the lack of a jet stream dip. And the reason why the GFS isn't leaning towards a jet stream dip is mainly because it expects a ridge to dominate a lot of the west coast, and the jet stream dip will kind of just slide further towards the north above this ridge and not really go further south. However, the European model expects this trough and this jet stream dip to completely overtake the ridge that's expected to be located in this area, where we see that jet stream just completely dip and swallow and force this ridge to further eastward to the point where a storm will form as a result of this unstable air. So point is, a lot of uncertainty. This nor'easter could form or it could not form in the future. It's so highly uncertain. I just want to make you guys aware of this. What really will determine whether this nor'easter forms or not is if this jet stream dip is powerful enough to move further south and interact with that warm air, because that will be the key in developing this trough and moving up the northeast coast. If we look at historical data, the European model is more reliable, typically more reliable than the GFS model. However, they're very neck and neck. The European model, in terms of forecasting winter weather, isn't that much more reliable than GFS model. So I wouldn't make that a major factor in determining whether this storm will form or not, since both computer models are relatively reliable when it comes to their forecast. So there's a lot of uncertainty, and just pay attention to more updates and forecasts in the future, because I will make sure to update you guys regarding any changes in the forecast. But now let's move on to the potential severe weather that's a lot more certain and in the short term future. If we take a look at the GFS model radar, you're gonna see that right around the Thursday to Friday time frame, there is that possibility of severe weather right around the Mississippi River Valley, closer to Memphis, Arkansas, affecting I almost said Minnesota, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Oklahoma and Texas as well. So let's take a look at the forecasted radar from the GFS model, and you see that it's fairly, the weather has been, and it's expected to be fairly quiet over the next week, by the way, because we're now entering a positive Arctic oscillation, which means that the low pressure and the ridge is a lot stronger in the Atlantic at this point, which means that the jet stream winds are now more than ever facing from west to east, more than for the first time since December. We've been seeing strong jet stream winds face from the east, from the west to the east. So as a result, the cold air is being diverted further to the east rather than meandering and moving further south thanks to the stronger jet stream winds in the Atlantic. So as a result, the jet stream is pretty straightened out throughout the United States, which means that no major storms are expected to form in the near future. But if we continue to move forward, there will be just enough unstable air right around Arkansas and Louisiana, right around the southeast, to induce some severe weather, because there's going to be a little bit of a small ridge moving through, and this trough is going to help bring that unstable air further southward, and it's going to make air pressures a little bit lower to the point where convection will occur, and we will see some severe weather in Arkansas and through along Mississippi and the southeast as well. And this will eventually transfer to rain in the future, but even beyond this trough that's expected to form in the southeast, there could be another chance of severe weather because there will be another jet stream dip associated with this trough coming off the Northwest Pacific. Now we'll move further south and create more severe weather right around the Ohio River Valley. It is around 3 to 4 days out, so it definitely could change, but I think we're more likely than not going to see severe weather right around the Ohio River Valley sometime later during the week or into early next week, where we do see 90 hours from now some severe weather throughout Arkansas, Texas, and Kentucky and Tennessee. So what impacts should you expect from this severe weather threat? So I'd say for the first one and also the second one, I don't expect any tornadoes, because for it to be a very strong tornadic threat, there needs to be just very high instability to induce a lot of very strong updrafts and to create a very strong potent jet stream. And what makes a potent jet stream is unstable air, stark contrasts between temperature, and it doesn't seem like this jet stream dip is going to be that powerful to make it a tornado threat. But damaging winds and hail are definitely within the realm of possibilities with these thunderstorms. I don't expect it to be insanely severe, but there is still that chance of damaging winds and hail with this, so you still want to keep a close eye on this if you're right around the southeast effect from Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama and Tennessee. So taking a look at the Futurecast radar to give you guys a better timing of when the severe weather is about to form. So we have this trough moving through the Rocky Mountains, and as it moves to the south, it's going to create just enough unstable air. By right around Thursday night, we're going to begin to see the first areas of thunderstorms, which could potentially be severe, but for a lot of Texas, it's actually going to be worse very early on Friday and overnight. So you guys might want to watch out in the overnight hours, because it could definitely be dangerous, and you might not be prepared to, because you're obviously typically sleeping overnight, and so I'd recommend that right around Thursday night, just before Thursday night, a lot of you Texans right around Dallas should put those loose things that could easily be blown over inside, because there could definitely be damaging winds associated with this. And then you see thunderstorms extend further into Arkansas and Mississippi on Friday, early Friday morning, and headed into the afternoon, where we do see the thunderstorms weaken just a little bit since there isn't as much unstable air, but still there could definitely be some isolated severe weather happening right around the Tennessee area and the Mississippi River Valley. So if we take a look at the chances of severe weather threat tomorrow, Thursday, you're gonna see that for the most part it's gonna be a marginal risk throughout right just to the east of Dallas and throughout Arkansas and Louisiana and Oklahoma. You have a marginal chance of thunderstorms, and then just outside of that, it's mainly a very slight chance, almost a non-existent chance. But again, just keep in mind, because even if the thunderstorms aren't classified as severe, it still could bring wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, and that definitely is at least something to watch. And then as for the forecast the day after tomorrow, you see that the chances lower a little bit because there isn't going to be as much unstable air on Friday to really create more convection. So as a result, the chances weakens as well. But I feel like this next severe weather threat, around 4 days from now, right around the Ohio River Valley, could be more severe because there's inevitably gonna be more unstable air in this region. So you guys need to watch out, because I think it could definitely be a far more impactful severe weather threat. And I'd say just keep an eye on this if you're in the Southeast. But yeah, outside of that, there isn't much weather going on because we're in a positive Arctic oscillation. And if this coming nor'easter does not form, this could potentially be maybe one of the last times you see snow in the Northeast, or for a lot of United States, especially if this positive Arctic oscillation continues. There could definitely be that outlier snowstorm where a snowstorm does occur even during a positive Arctic oscillation, but for the most part, I'd expect it to be a mainly quiet week for a lot of the United States, which is definitely sort of a breather for us because it's been a rough winter for a lot of us, especially in the Northeast and throughout the United States. So I guess it's something good for a lot of you guys. I want a snowstorm, but we have to see whether or not this nor'easter does form. But anyways, guys, I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more other content. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather related content. And I hope you guys have a good day.